For the love of football. It's time for victory. We making history. We the new big thing, ain't no mystery. For the love of football.
It's all for the love of football. Welcome, football fans everywhere, to the XFL Pregame. Live from XFL headquarters, I'm the coach, Johnathan Coachman. She is Alyse Ashton, and we're going to get right to it. History will be made today as the XFL is ushering a new day, a new era of football. New players, teams, rules, all to give fans, you, the fan, more of the most popular sport in all the land.
Coach, it's exciting. It's all about more ball, less stall. Today we have two exciting matchups for you. Coming at you from the nation's capital, we have the Seattle Dragons and the DC Defenders on ABC at 2 p.m. Eastern, and then the LA Wildcats and the Houston Roughnecks get at it on Fox at 5 p.m. Eastern. But before we get into the games, let's take a closer look at the rules that will innovate today's gameplay. The XFL is all about speed and adapting to all of the different rule changes. So let's take a closer look at that kickoff rule that builds on the traditional style of football, but elevates the game, Coach.
At least everybody's been talking about these rule changes, and we're excited about them. The kickoff, well, that's what it looks like normally. But here in the XFL, the two teams will line up 5 yards apart. The X and the O, that's the kicker and the receiver. Now, keep in mind, nobody can move until the ball has been kicked off and caught or been on the ground for 3 seconds. It changes everything about the strategy of the kickoff, but once it's caught, then everybody can move, run, and block.
So, Coach, what would you say is the biggest advantage of this rule?
Well, here's the thing. In a normal kickoff, everybody's moving. This is about how far you kick it, how high you kick it, how fast your coverage team is. So everything changes about the mindset of a kickoff by doing it this way.
Again, a fast game, faster here in the XFL. But there's also plenty other rule changes that include the point after the touchdown, which actually, Coach, it doesn't even involve a kicker.
I love this one. I love this one.
Doesn't involve a kicker at all. The first option, you have 3 different options. The first option is an offensive play from the 2-yard line. It's worth just 1 point. Your second option is a play from the 5-yard line, worth 2 points. And the third is a real go-all-out play from the 10-yard line, and that's worth 3 points. So, Coach, if you're down 9 points, you still have a play in this game.
And it changes your entire mindset about what you're used to in traditional football. Normally it's 8, now it's 9. But also think about this, the defense, they can score 2. What do I mean? Well, if the offense is going for 1, the defense takes the ball back for a score, they get 1 or 2 or 3. So you have to think about what play are you going to run, because you can't just hand it back to the defense on something that's a marginally responsible play to run. So even the extra point, you have to think about everything that you're doing.
And it'll be interesting to see how the players adapt to
No doubt.
all of these rules. And, of course, all of us watching. And another one of the game changers that you're going to see in today's games is the punt. The fans, they told the XFL that they didn't like the amount of punts on the 4th down. And we listened.
Well, here's the deal about this. So if the ball goes in the end zone, then the team will get it at the 35-yard line. If the ball goes out of bounds, then the team will get it at the 35-yard line. Or if it goes out in front of the 35, then they would get it where the ball goes out in front of the 35. But keep in mind, this is all about the line of scrimmage. Nobody can move, again, until the ball's been kicked, caught, or laid on the ground for a certain period of time. So again, it's about adapting and understanding what these rules are and how to implement and be as positive as you can be in the punt game.
Now let's talk about the punter themselves. Why is that an important part of the team?
Well, the punter in the XFL is going to be an absolute weapon. We just saw how if you kick it out of bounds, if you kick it in the end zone, it's going to be about if you want to get a team back in their own territory, you got to not only keep it out of the end zone, you got to keep it from going out of bounds too. That changes completely the mindset of what you normally would do to pin a team back. Again, it's about adapting.
About adapting, and we have more rules to even talk about here, Coach, right? We've got a faster game, which we've been talking about. Let's go into detail about that faster game and how that clock is going to work.
Well, I think fans are really going to like this because in the XFL, it's about the clock never stopping until the final 2 minutes of each half. Also, it's no longer a 40-second play clock, it's a 25-second play clock. So if there's an incomplete pass, the team's got to get right back on the line of scrimmage and keep it moving. And how about this one? The double forward pass. Everybody keeps asking me about this based off a mistake in the double forward pass. We're going to see it. I think we're going to see it today.
Well, we will see if we see it today, right, Coach?
Yeah, that's right.
It's exciting. It's going to be moving along. And, of course, these are just some of the new rules that you'll see in today's matchups. To learn more about how the XFL has changed the game to bring you a more fast-paced action, go to XFL.com for all those rules.
This is fan first, free to play all day, calling all ballers. Who doesn't want $1 million? This is for the love of football. Download the free Play XFL app and you can win $1 million from the XFL playoffs and championship. See official rules in the Play XFL app.
Welcome back to the XFL Pregame Show. We are so excited for our first game, and we hope you are too.
Oh, the countdown, the anticipation, the nerves very much on as the Seattle Dragons are set to face off against the DC Defenders. And speaking of today's game, earlier today, we caught up with Alyse, who is in DC for the calm before the very first league game storm.
Alan Tazinski here. I am in the DC Defenders hotel as players are starting to trickle in, get some breakfast, get their minds right, get in game mode for this truly historic day, the beginning of the XFL season. And what an opportunity for the DC Defenders, an opportunity to set the tone for week one, set the tone for the season, and set the tone as the hosts of the very first XFL game. The buzz around the DMV, honestly, is really electric, and Audi Field should be a special place later on when we kick off at 2 p.m., and we are going to take you all the way up until kickoff with updates from the Defenders until then, so keep it locked. Reporting for the DC Defenders, I'm Alan Tazinski.
I rarely get hungry when I watch a hit like that, but I was a little bit. What I really like about this Defender team, Alyse, are the relationships then and now. You've got head coach Pep Hamilton. You've got secondary coach Mike Gilhammer. They were both on the Indianapolis Colts coaching staff from 2013 to 2015. All they did was win 2 division titles and go to the AFC Championship game.
And that's so important, those relationships, to make sure the players gel, that they can work together. And that's why there is backup quarterback Tyree Jackson and center James O'Hagan, who were teammates at the University of Buffalo from 2016 to 2018.
You never know when you're going to have to come off the bench in relief. And then you have starting quarterback Cardell Jones and defensive back Doran Grant. They were teammates at Ohio State 2013, 2014. Who can forget Cardell Jones coming off the bench, end of the season, for a convincing national championship game-winning win over the University of Oregon.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how these previous connections will help the Defenders to connect on the field against the Dragons. But first, let's take a closer look at how they prepared for today's game.
All right, boys, let's get this meeting started. Oh, we need guys that need football, that need the XFL, that need to play for the DC Defenders. Our first game is on ABC, 2 o'clock, February 8th. I mean, it's a great platform for these guys to make a good living playing football. So we're going to do our best to help them to realize their full potential as players. Reset, bring that arm through, nice and easy. One step, right there, athletic, that's good. Nice flex in your back leg. Quicker feet, quicker, quicker. Nice ball, holy shit. Go. Oh, lovely, nice ball. Like right there, that's perfect, go back. So this is the difference, look at the first step, all right? It's not as far back behind you, and your momentum's going back. And I'm looking at your shoulder plane, and I'm like, this is where you want to be.
Just making sure that, we got every little detail right, before we dish it out to the players, and, so we all can be on the same page. The more we can get out the way now and hash out the details and the small things, the better we'll be, February 8th.
You know what I saw there? I saw hard work. I saw coaches and players still with the dream of playing professional football. And today is kind of maybe their final chance. And that is very, very exciting. So that's the first matchup, Dragons and the Defenders. But out in Houston, 2 more teams are getting dialed in for the late game on this XFL opening Saturday.
Yeah, it's the Los Angeles Wildcats facing off against the Houston Roughnecks, and will shape up to be a great battle between 2 seasoned veteran coaches and LA's Winston Moss, who is the only defense-minded coach in the league, versus Houston's June Jones. Let's go ahead and check in with our own Haley Graves, who's out in Houston right now. Hi, Haley.
Thanks, Alyse. I'm standing at the Los Angeles Wildcats team hotel in Houston, Texas. The energy around the hotel is already starting to buzz as these guys are up, moving about, and getting ready for their 5 p.m. kickoff. One of the biggest storylines of this game is who's going to start at quarterback for the Los Angeles Wildcats. QB Josh Johnson appeared on the injury report this week and is listed as questionable for today's matchup. That means he'll probably be a game-time decision. If he can't go, quarterback Charles Knopf or quarterback Jalen McClendon will take over the responsibilities under center. Charles Knopf was recently acquired by the Wildcats in a trade, sending quarterback Luis Perez to the New York Guardians, and in return, the Wildcats received Knopf. Meanwhile, Jalen McClendon has showcased his dual threat capabilities all throughout both mini and training camp. Either way, the Wildcats will be set at quarterback. I'm reporting live from Houston, Texas. I'm Haley Graves. Back to you, Alyse.
Thank you, Haley. We are so excited to see the LA Wildcats and the Houston Roughnecks get at it. And remember, you can see that game on Fox at 5 p.m. Eastern. For more information, visit XFL.com and join in on the conversation using the hashtag XFL Pregame.
This is 100% cotton and 110% committed. This is extra loud, even and extra small. This is official. This is for the love of football. Gear up at XFLShop.com.
I can't tell you, Coach, how exciting it is to be a part of this new league, to see each of these teams looking so good, and of course the player chemistry coming together like we talked about. So let's get things kicked off.
I think you need just to wait. Just calm down just for a second. One more very important piece of the puzzle we need to tell you about: social media. We want this league to be interactive with you, the fan at home. Please enlighten them.
Absolutely. Our favorite thing, we need you to hashtag for the love of football and hashtag XFL Pregame. We want to hear from you, and we've already heard from some of you, so let's go ahead and take a look at those tweets. We've got a Seattle Dragons fan here. He's ready in some gear. He has been shopping at the XFL shop, of course, like me.
Just like you, but he clearly has not bought as much gear as you have. It's ridiculous.
Very true. Let's take a look at our next tweet. And you can see, fans from all walks of life, they're excited in D.C.
It's very old school. You've got the one-bar face mask, the sunglasses, the whole thing. I don't know. It's fandom at its best, but certainly I don't think we're going to see this particular individual kicking for the defenders.
That's right. And then here from the XFL Wildcats, Coach Mott's one of a kind, and he is ready to go.
And my man to the right there, Beto Duran, the king of L.A., I tell you what, the LA team and the community have really come together for the XFL.
That's right. That's right. And we've got NBA Houston Rockets great Hakeem Olajuwon, and he's ready for game day.
Well, a lot of people don't know this, but Hakeem Olajuwon, Hakeem the Dream, he's a huge sports fan. He loves kickboxing. He loves martial arts. He also loves football, and you cannot have a better proponent of the Houston team than Hakeem Olajuwon. So a reminder, here's what our first 2 games of the inaugural season of XFL 2020 looks like. Today on ABC at 2 Eastern Time, the Seattle Dragons and the DC Defenders. Then right after that, over on Fox, the Wildcats from LA and the Roughnecks from Houston. So a great doubleheader to kick off our very first season.
Coach, it is an exciting day to kick off the league for the love of football. The XFL Pregame. We'll be back tomorrow.
We will be with full highlights from the 2 games today and a full preview of the 2 games tomorrow. We are ready. We are excited, and we hope that you are too. That's going to do it for us. For Alyse, I'm the coach. And remember, if you love football, you're going to love the XFL. Do your research, do your homework, but most of the time, just have fun. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.
I'm so game ready to